Good morning from the capital of Estonia. We are in Tallinn today and we are going on a tour.
Tarkusi vanu mul õpetas ema, veel enam teadis mu vanaema. Kuis leid õnne ja õnnetus, kuis peita vikerkord maailmas kleiti, kuis hoida vette pealt eemale parm, kuis leida
All right, you guys know that we love doing walking tours. We are here in Tallinn and we actually get our own tour guide, which is amazing. Usually we do free walking tours, but today we have Heli, who is going to show us around Tallinn and give us a lot of fun little stories, facts. She's actually an awesome storyteller and I can't wait for you guys to hear.
First story, the street behind you. What is that?
Okay, so she said this is called the Eye of the Needle. It is an area where if you were a criminal and you were sentenced to death, if you could get to this road, down this walkway and up the hill to the church, then you would be pardoned of all your sins. But unfortunately, there are a lot of guys with clubs on this road, so it's not very often people made it.
And a good way to start our tour of Estonia. Let's go! All right, we started the tour a little bit, and something already that I found super interesting. This gray stripe behind me, you can see it's kind of jaggedy and cut out. This is a representation of what this street was like years ago before World War II. The gray strips is where the buildings were, and this is the road right here. In the distance, you can see this little yellow house. That yellow house was here originally in World War II, and this area was completely bombed by the Soviet Union just after World War II so that they could come and retake it. They destroyed about a third of the city of Tallinn and invaded it shortly thereafter. It's really interesting how so many of these old Soviet cities, the city centers, have giant open green spaces. Well, that's because it was so much cheaper to just create a park than it was to rebuild all the buildings that had been destroyed.
And there used to be a drawbridge where the chutes on these squares, that's where the drawbridge used to go to as well. But to be quite honest, this wasn't demolished in any wartime or destroyed. We actually demolished it ourselves because it was so narrow that we couldn't get a lot of stuff to go into the city, so we had to get rid of it for practical reasons.
We are here in Freedom Square. Back in the Soviet days, there's a giant statue of Lenin that is gone now. It's pretty much empty, but right behind me,
Not true.
not Lenin.
No, it was sure.
Are we still rolling?
False news.
False. Fake news.
There you go.
All right, we are here in Freedom Square. It is pretty much a giant empty square now that celebrates the freedom of Estonia. But behind me is this cafe. Now it says Valdebos, which is freedom. Is that right? Freedom. But before that, it was Kultas, which means the cult. And in the 30s, it had a very strange service. You could come get coffee, and then the staff would give you robes. You would give them your clothes in exchange, and then as you had your coffee, your clothes were ironed for you so that you could go about your day in nice ironed clothes. I think that'd be really cool to have today. I'm really sad that I can't get my clothes ironed while I have a coffee this morning. But well, is nudity just not okay now? Either way, it'd be still a fun thing to have.
And it was only for men.
Yeah, sadly.
No women.
Sadly.
It's our victory monument. This was up in June 2009 for all the people who fought for our independence. Question, do you guys like it? I mean, it's interesting.
Õudu ja pelgu, hüüa mu poole ja too mulle selgust.
What you have to know is that the old town was divided into two distinct sectors. The upper town on this side of the wall, this area was called Tompe, and Tompe is where the noblemen had their city houses. The lower town, which was called the lower town, was actually a free city of merchants and handicraftsmen. So up there, noblemen, down there, merchants. These sides hated each other.
This area that we're in right now separates the upper town from the lower town, as you probably heard her say. It's a really cool spot to keep like the medieval section of the town. It's got the whole history of the Danish conquering written in this area. There's statues and a little modern art installation that depicts the Danish flag falling from the heavens. Really cool story. If you're interested in that, look up how the Danes got their flag.
This is called the Short Legs Tower, and there are two really kind of interesting stories about this tower. First off, underneath this tower during Soviet times was a meeting place for Western spies. Because microphones and cameras could not pick up clear signals from over there. So this is usually where you had 20 seconds time to meet a fellow spy to give information. Yes, I think it might have been this one where they inserted the microphones. So as you can see, yeah, some of these came off. Hello? Are you still listening?
Saadan suuele tormise raju, mis maani su läveis painutaks paju. Nõnda saab teada, et ikka mu meel armastus täis sinu vastu on veel. Oh, loida suur tuli ja valgusta päeva, sädemid pillu, mis võimsama väega langeksid südame mehele. Et ta kord paneks mind tähele, kui siis on ka lõpp sellel loo, vaata kas.
Our tour is over. It was amazing. I loved learning about the city and I learned actually a ton. Thank you so much to Heli and Traveler Tours for setting that up. We'll put their link down below if you're in this city. They do a free walking tour, or you can have your own guide like we did, which was probably one of my favorite ways to be guided around the city.
And I don't know if you can see, but there's a ton of people here. Apparently, and I didn't know this, but apparently this is a massive tourist destination for cruise ships.
Yeah.
And there are hundreds and hundreds of people here. But pro tip, Ashley.
What's that? Oh.
But pro tip, Ashley.
Definitely come out. Like if you're staying in the city after 3 or 4 p.m., all the cruise ship people are back on the cruise ship,
Yep,
and you can have the city to yourself.
Yeah.
Which
so
we need to do.
Yeah. So I think what we're gonna do now is go to have some lunch, and then we'll see if we can find our apartment, our Airbnb.
Our new place to stay.
All right.
I don't know what it's called. It's had this
We've come to a restaurant now for lunch. It's called Leib, which means dark bread, fresh bread. They're saying that they chose the name because it means something that's honestly made, something that's fresh, something that's simple, and that's why. And Estonian, that's why they made it, called it that. And here in Estonia, our tour guide just said that the blacker the bread, the better the bread. They really like their bread here. The restaurant is started and owned by a sommelier and a chef. It's their dream to have this place, and I can't wait to see what they have come up with.
Amazing. The appetizers are amazing. They've given us pairings to go with them that are amazing, and the prices are like normal prices that you would pay for a restaurant. It's like a plate is 10 to 20 euro. That's not bad at all. And of course, I love bread, so with a bread theme, how are you gonna get away from that?
I do want to point out that our guide earlier said that this is the foodie spot to come. Like if you're a foodie, you come and eat here. Sat down with the owner, he taught us a few things, which is so interesting. And like, I would do this all the time if I could. So maybe we need to become foodies. Because this is the job that I want.
If you like food, you're a foodie. I'm a foodie. I ordered a white roe for a starter, and they recommended a champagne pairing. So local potatoes and roe in a smoked sour cream. So good. All right, so flavors. The white roe is creamy. It's not even that strong of a flavor. You got a little potato for crunch and a little creaminess, and then there's also a cooked potato below that. And the smoked sour cream is just smooth. It makes the whole thing totally palatable. So if you don't like roe, this would be an amazing way to have it because it's not offensive in any way. It's delicious.
For the beef, it's a filet mignon, medium rare as you wished.
With the green beans, some curly kale, and a red wine sauce flavored with bone marrow inside. Bon appetit.
Thank you. I have a Siberian sturgeon that has been cooked sous vide.
Same exact bread.
Yep. And basically it gives a new texture in the bottom and also this bit of saltiness.
So this is a brown bread creme brulee, and creme brulee is one of my favorite desserts ever, and it has black currants on the top.
So creme brulee with a bread inside.
On
How
the
is it?
bottom, perfect. I think I'll have this all to myself. You don't get any. To finish off our amazing meal, we're actually bringing the house down because everybody left.
Lunch service is over. They're getting prepped for dinner now.
We've stayed here so long. We were having such an amazing conversation with Christian, the owner of this place. He is incredible. You have to come here. But we were given schnapps to finish the meal.
We have black currant, rhubarb,
which is my favorite one,
and romberry, which is a local and fairly rare bog berry. It's found in the bogs.
So cool. So what is schnapps? Because I don't know what it is.
I really don't know what defines a schnapps over any other liquor.
Like vodka, or I mean, it's fruity.
I think it's a fruit liquor made from vodka. I think.
Yeah. So we learned from our waitress that there aren't really wines grown here because obviously the weather is not lucrative to growing grapes, but there are a lot of berry type fruit drinks that are made here because that's what grows in the area. So pretty cool. Finish our meal with these and then we will head to our new Airbnb.
Oh my gosh, Leib Resto was so good, and the tour this morning with Travelers Tour, that was so good. Everything today was amazing. It was like the perfect introduction to Tallinn. Yeah. I felt like we hit the ground running here, and we didn't even get to tell you all the facts about Leib. Like that menu is seasonal, so like all good restaurants, it changes with the seasons. Yeah. But the one thing you need to try is the dessert at the end. We had the creme brulee with black bread. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's the one thing on the menu that has not changed since the very beginning, 6 years ago when they launched the restaurant.
Delicious.
Everything was amazing. We love sitting down with the owner that made it so special. Yeah. We're going to a couple different restaurants this week, and they're going to have a hard time beating Leib.
I don't think they will top it.
Amazing food, really personable service. Holy cow, that was amazing. I can already recommend going. Yes, links, everything,
if you come
all that.
here, you have to go there.
Guys, we are having such an amazing time already, and this is like essentially day one of Tallinn. We haven't really gone out to explore before this. So, Waveham, I hope we encourage you to get out there and travel today. We have a lot more coming from Tallinn in Estonia before we head out to some more Baltic countries as well as Finland coming up shortly.
Man, we have so many cool things coming up.
We'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.
Goodbye. Adios.